This is how I built these high-power RGB LED lights that can pan and tilt 180 degrees. The light is focused into a beam using convex planar lenses, and the LEDs are controlled via ArtNet. So I can use a software called LED Effects to control the LEDs wirelessly and generate patterns that sync with music. The servos are controlled via a web server. I have created 8 different effects for the servos, and I've also built a fog machine using an old hairdryer to make this effect 100 times better. No, though, I wouldn't recommend you do the same, since using a hairdryer to turn glycerin into vapor is a very bad and dangerous idea. To get started, I need a bunch of servos, 4 for each axis, so 8 in total. You could add as many as you want since it's easily scalable. At first, I got an Esp32 for this project, but then later down the road, I switched to an Esp32 since it's better in every way. This is what controls the servos. It uses an I2C communication protocol to talk to the ESP, and it can also drive up to 16 servos, and you can also power the servos directly through this module. I ran a quick test for the servos to make sure it all works. And for the lights, I needed a way to focus the beam. For this, I need to get my hands on convex lenses. I figured the cheapest way to do this would be to just get LED flashlights in bulk. I already had one laying around, so I bought 3 extra ones. I only needed the lens part of this and its aluminum housing, so it's time to rip the new flashlights apart, and it was not easy. Eventually, I had to use a rotary tool, but yes, I managed to separate them. After that, I wired up a test LED. Now this is a 3-watt RGB LED and it gets quite warm, so I mounted it on a heatsink. I soldered all the positive pins together and I soldered the 3 wires to the 3 cathodes. Now here I'm running a test code that sends a PWM signal to each pin, and keep in mind that connecting the cathodes directly to the microcontroller is not a good idea, because the ESP can only handle up to 12 milliamps sync current, so I decided to use an NPN transistor like the BC5471 as a way to drive the LEDs. I did a couple more tests and it was time to start assembling everything. I decided to make a platform out of foam board to mount everything on. And then I glued the servos on it. Now, I know it's probably not the greatest idea to just use super glue for everything, but I'm lazy, so I just decided to do it anyway. I drilled holes and pushed the servo wires through it, and I hot glued it in place so it doesn't rattle around. And then I connected all the positive wires together and then also the ground ones. And then I did a little test to make sure they all worked this time. And after that, it's just a matter of mounting the LEDs on the servos, and here again I'm using super glue because super glue is your best friend. A month of work and a lot of failures later, I think it turned out way better than expected. I love it and I hope you did it too. I hope you learned something, or maybe you got inspired to do something similar, but thanks for watching, take care, and bye bye.